Have you ever had to write a report, say about an event, or how to do something, or even just describing a place, and just kind of stare at a blank page? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today, we're going to crack that code. We're going to build a super simple blueprint for 3 of the most common types of reports, so you'll have all the tools you need to write like a pro.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with the basic reporter's blueprint. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of capturing an event, explaining a process, and describing a place. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover the golden rules that apply to all of them.
All right, let's get our reporter hats on and start with the big picture. You know, at its core, every single factual report has one mission: be clear, be objective, and be structured. Your job isn't to be flashy or persuasive. It's to inform, pure and simple. Think of yourself as a crystal clear window that lets the facts shine through, not a colorful one that changes the view.
Okay, first up, the event report. This is your go-to for anything that's already happened. We're talking about everything from a school sports day to a big community meeting. It's all about capturing the what, when, and where of a specific moment.
So what's the goal here? It's really simple, just to inform. And to do that well, you've got to stand on 3 key pillars. It has to be factual, totally objective, and chronological. You're basically the reader's eyes and ears on the ground, telling them exactly what happened in the exact order it happened. No fluff, no opinions.
Let's break down the basic building blocks. Every solid event report needs these 3 things right at the top: a catchy, short headline, a byline, to say who wrote it, and a dateline, which tells you the place and date. Boom. Right away, your reader knows the context.
Now, the body of the report follows a really simple, logical flow. First, your intro just nails the basics: the what, when, where, and why. Then, the middle part adds the flavor, describing the key activities, maybe who the chief guest was, all the highlights. And finally, the conclusion ties a bow on it, stating the outcome and the impact. It's a clean, super effective formula.
So let's see how this actually works. Take a look at this example, a report on an annual sports day. See how the intro immediately tells you what happened, where and when? Then it dives right into the details, the march past, the torch lighting. You get the idea. It's just pure, clear information.
And here's how it wraps up. The conclusion covers the prize distribution. That's a really important outcome. And it ends with a simple summary of the event's success. See? Everything's tied together, and the reader walks away with a complete picture.
All right, time to switch gears. We're moving away from what happened and into how it happens. A process report is totally different. It's not about a single event, but a sequence of actions. The best way to think about it? It's like a recipe or an instruction manual.
The whole point here is just to explain something clearly. You're literally guiding the reader step by step through a procedure. It could be anything: how to recycle plastic, how a gadget works. The #1 goal is always clarity and a logical sequence.
Okay, now look at the format. It's a little different, right? See what's missing? There's no byline or dateline, and that's totally on purpose. Why? Because the focus here is 100% on the process, not the person writing about it or when it was written. You've got a clear title, a quick intro on why the process matters, the step-by-step breakdown, and then a conclusion about the final result.
Now, the language you use here is absolutely crucial. Big difference from an event report. You're going to use the present tense. And here's a pro tip. Use the passive voice. So instead of saying, "you push the button," you'd say, "the button is pushed." It sounds like a small change, but it's really powerful. It takes the focus off who is doing it and puts it squarely on the action itself. That makes it feel more objective, more universal. Oh, and don't forget your connectors. Words like first, next, and finally are your best friends for keeping the reader on track.
Let's check out this example on rainwater harvesting. See how the intro immediately explains why this is such an important process? It sets the stage perfectly. Then, boom, it's right into the steps. Catchment area, conveyance system, first flush, filtration. Each one is a clear, distinct action.
And it finishes up with the final step: storage or recharge. And then the conclusion. Now notice this. The conclusion doesn't just stop. It tells you why this matters. It reinforces how useful the whole process is. It's eco-friendly, it saves money, it's good for the planet. It answers the so what question.
Okay, on to our third and final report type. For this one, we're basically becoming virtual tour guides. But here's the catch. It's not about sharing your personal feelings or telling a dramatic story. It's all about giving a factual, descriptive account of a location so other people know what it's really like.
So the whole idea is to paint a picture for the reader, but you're using facts as your paintbrush. You want to focus on the objective stuff.
What does it look like? What facilities does it have? Why is this place even important? And what's its condition right now? It's all about giving people useful, solid information they can trust.
And hey, check this out. Notice how the format here looks familiar? The headline, the byline, and the dateline, they're all back, just like in an event report. The body is pretty straightforward too. It covers the location, all the physical details, and then a conclusion about its current state or maybe its future.
Let's take a look at this report on the National Science Museum. It calls it a treasure house of scientific knowledge. That's a great descriptive start. Then it gets into the facts. It details the different galleries, the interactive exhibits, and specific sections on things like space science. The goal is super clear. Just describe what's actually there. Then the conclusion wraps it up by summarizing the main takeaway. The museum was both informative and inspiring. Now, this is a really important distinction. That's a summary of the place's impact, not just the writer's personal opinion like, I had a great time. It's a subtle but key difference.
Okay, so we've broken down 3 very different kinds of reports. Now, let's zoom out and pull it all together. Think of this next part as your ultimate toolkit, the golden rules that apply across the board.
Seriously, if you only remember one single thing about the language, make it this. Event reports are always in the past tense because they're about something that's already over. But process and place reports, they're about how things work or how they exist right now, so you'll use the present tense. That is the most fundamental difference, and getting it right is a game changer.
And here it is, folks, the ultimate cheat sheet. But check out what's the same across all 3. They all use the third person, so no I, we, or you. They all need that formal, objective tone, and they're all about being concise, usually shooting for around 100 to 150 words. This table really lays it all out perfectly.
At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one idea. Your personal feelings, your opinions, your emotions, you've got to leave them at the door. The goal is always balanced coverage. Your credibility, your trustworthiness as a writer, it all hangs on your ability to just present the facts plain and simple.
So, there you have it, a complete blueprint for 3 of the most common reports you'll ever have to write. You've officially got the tools, you know the rules, so the only real question left is, what are you going to report on first?